Police were investigating many various possible suspects. Many of them provided DNA. At least one had his DNA surreptitiously.
Here we go again. Another drunk turkey. How we doing, guys? True Crime King. Back. Alright. So this one's titled Bryan Kohberger. Innocent. Question mark. Exclamation point. So, the drunk turkeys, they're one of these ones that keep pushing this Bryan Kohberger innocent narrative. Drops bombs in new docks. Alright, let's go.
Taken from a discarded cigarette.
I love when Daniel reads. It's like watching a kindergarten child read.
So here's the big thing about that. So that word I had trouble saying, surreptitiously, it basically means secretly, right?
He must have just looked it up, all right?
Now,
because he didn't even know how to say it, but now all of a sudden he even knows what it means, right?
That's a big thing, because that leads me to believe that there was at least one person that either did one or two things. Either one, he refused to give his DNA, which is a little bit suspicious. Well, a lot of bit suspicious, to be honest with you. Or that there was at least one other person that got the Kohberger treatment, that the police felt so inclined to think that they were suspected of committing this crime that they wanted to take their DNA without tipping that person off.
Whatever. Okay, again, they didn't even know about Kohberger for over a month, right? They were under a lot of pressure, especially right after these murders happened, right? So, they probably did take numerous people's DNA without them knowing, right? Or secretly. That wouldn't be anything unusual.
Now, based on what they said in the previous, paragraph stating that there was no other DNA of Kohberger's.
I thought Daniel was an ex-cop or something. I mean, shouldn't he know this stuff? Does anybody have proof that he was in law enforcement?
And that and the temperature of this, document is basically stating that the Moscow Police Department aren't pointing a direction as to why they believe Kohberger committed this outside of that DNA hit, and that they had other suspects that potentially could have had more evidence that led to them being the suspect outside of not being responsible for the small amount of DNA that was left on the sheet. I think that's basically what they're trying to say.
Okay. Okay. So, just because there was a small amount, of course it's going to be small. It's underneath a button on a sheath, okay? So, let me try and explain this to you guys. That's not touch DNA, okay? DNA on a sheath is DNA, okay? Touch DNA is a method that the scientists or the forensic people use to if there is only a small amount of DNA, okay? But they now have the cheek swab from Kohberger that match the DNA on the knife sheath 5.37 octillion% to Bryan Kohberger, okay? So, I'm just trying to, because a lot of you guys aren't getting this touch DNA. The DNA on the sheath, on the button, was DNA, okay? That's not touch DNA. Touch DNA is just one of the methods they can use if there is only a small bit of DNA. Okay? So I'm just trying to get that. I want to make that totally clear to everybody.
In that shell so far. But I think that's pretty huge.
But DNA is DNA. And that's what I'm going to title this video that.
Another big deal here is that it says one area of investigation had to do with the white sedan seen on camera located at 1112 King Road. First glance by officers November 18th. By November 25th, police believed the car to be a white Elantra and asked law enforcement to be on the lookout for one. Precisely how the police came to believe the car was an Elantra was still unknown. A report from the analysis for the FBI dated March 21st, 2023 shows the analysis heavily relied on a video of a car heading in the wrong direction at the wrong time on Ridge Road.
Okay, the wrong direction. What does the wrong time mean? The wrong time means right at the time that after the murders were committed, right? So they see an Elantra driving in the wrong direction at that time, right around 4, a little after 4:15. You know. And then they see Kohberger in the car. It's just ridiculous.
Now, if it's heading in the wrong direction at the wrong time, I think what they're trying to allude is that there's the possibility that there was more than one vehicle out there that looks similar at the same time. Not necessarily that more than one vehicle may have been involved in the crime, but that there was multiple vehicles around at the same time that were similar enough that it's possible that it was either a different vehicle, and that the vehicle that they did get a profile on was, especially since it was heading the wrong direction at the wrong time.
Okay, I want to see what Daniel says about what he means about the wrong time. I don't even know what he's talking about. Multiple vehicles. It just says a report of a car heading in the wrong direction. He's talking about multiple vehicles. I don't understand what he's saying.
Well, it's not the right vehicle.
I think Daniel is confused and he doesn't understand this at all. That's why I don't rely. That's why I try to tell you guys. These guys don't have no idea what they're even talking about.
So they're trying to put holes in everything, right?
Of course they're going to. That's their job. You guys, listen. A lot of you guys that are watching all these Kohberger innocent crap. The defense, of course, they're gonna try and make it seem like Kohberger didn't do this. That is their job. They wouldn't. There would be a mistrial, or this case would be thrown out and retried if their lawyers didn't do all this. You know, this is just how it goes.
So the next paragraph talks about the genealogical DNA, and they're upset about how it was just a tip and that there's no rhyme or reason as to pointing into his direction. But here's the next big clue. It says here there is no connection between Kohberger and the victims.
Okay, that they know about or we know about, right? And even if there wasn't, we already know Kohberger was stalking the Idaho campus, right? So, and most likely stalking, he had to have known or been to the house before to know exactly where they were in the house, right? I mean, come on.
Now, what that means is that, well, it means a lot of things. That there was no connection from him to the victims in the house.
And real quick, this morning, the defense is demanding that they receive the evidence in this case. So they don't even know really all the evidence against them right yet. So this is just ridiculous.
He was never in the house, according to the defense here. According to the defense, there's no connection. There shouldn't be there's nothing found on any of his devices, on his cell tower, on his internet tower, his,
I don't know what he means by that, but we've been known for months. The police tracked Kohberger's phone that does the circle right, and then right to, from Washington, right around, right to King Road, and then right back to Pullman. I mean, any of you can go look that up right now if you haven't seen it 1,000 times by now, right?
No planning, evidence of planning this crime. We talked heavily about how we felt strongly that in this case, that the prosecution and law enforcement felt that there was going to be a tremendous amount of evidence found after his arrest, that there would be signs of planning, there would be DNA evidence, there would be all sorts of things
that makes no sense, right? Kohberger had over a month of we know he cleaned his car, right? That's been reported on multiple news. Somebody or multiple people saw him cleaning his car from top to bottom, inside and out. Of course, he got rid of any DNA that was in there. Duh, right? And why would he keep anything around? Uh, if he wrote anything down, duh, he's of course he's gonna get rid of it. He had over a month, right? And yeah, this is from the defense. I mean, of course, they're gonna try and poke holes in anything the prosecution says, right? Again, that's their job. But I'm gonna make a part 2 to this tomorrow morning. Sorry, I've been working a lot, guys. That's why I haven't been putting out too many videos. But I'll be back soon, rolling them out. So when I have some free time. But until next time, guys, True Crime King out.